welcome to season 2, episode 10 of the What You're Thinking podcast. I'm Eric.
I'm Vince.
And it's the season finale, so we have a packed show for you. We're going to talk about a few things. The Colorado shooting that took place this past week. We're going to talk about how DoorDash is coming to the rescue in a way in this pandemic, as well as if body count really matters. So let's jump into it.
All right, so for the hit the brakes or carry on topics, for the first one we do have, so it's a new year and another mass shooting has happened, as we all know. This time it happened in Boulder, Colorado. So we're just looking to see if the strict gun law is actually needed here. Do you want to hit the brakes or do you want to carry on from that?
Definitely hit the brakes. It's it's a shame. As I saw something online, that was very true, and it's like only in America does getting back to normal mean a mass shooting like every week, and that's a very sad reality. I was looking up some stuff on it. I do think like the gun control is an interesting conversation, and I'm obviously always on the side of Democrats with that, because it's like background checks do need to be passed in order for someone to buy. First of all, assault rifles shouldn't even be like available to the average citizen. What do you need an assault rifle for? That's not something you need for hunting. Like like you don't need an AK, you don't need a AR-15. Like those things are just not needed. But that's just once again people's reaction to being an American. The first thing out their mouth when you want to tell them something is I'm American, it's a free country, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, AR is not even needed. The whole thing about it is what people like to change the narrative of is like background checks are just to make sure guns don't end up in the wrong hands. It's not taking your guns away. If you pass a background check and a psych eval, then fine, you should be able to have a gun. That's cool. We're cool with that. We're not trying to take your guns away. We're just trying to make sure the guns don't end up in the wrong hands. And lastly, I just want to say, I was looking up some statistics. And since 1966 in the Texas Tower shooting, there's a whole bunch of stats on like shootings and all that. And since then, there's been 183 shootings. There's been 194 shooters, 349 guns used in those shootings, and 1,290 deaths. So all that goes to show that it just needs to be more controlled. But what are your thoughts on it?
I definitely agree with that. Like we do need a strict gun law. One, because like my whole thing is, all right, this person gets into court, the first thing they say is something was wrong with me, I didn't mean to do what I did, etc. And then you know the direction of that based on the system that we have in play. And we also know that they take that route because the lawyer, I mean, come on, if you have a really good lawyer, that's the first thing your lawyer is going to tell you. Plead insanity. Let them give you a psych evaluation, and then boom, you're out in like what, 7 years? To me, I feel like gun control law really needs to be in place. One, because we have all these psychologists, we have all these ways of knowing that there's an underlying factor for this person to come in here and try to buy an AR-15. And first of all, if someone feels like they need to buy such a high grade weapon, then why don't we have something next to it? It's like why do we have to take a test before we get on the jet ski? If this person could just go into a gun store, pick up a high grade military grade weapon and walk out with it in a plastic bag like nothing happened. So it's crazy, and I feel like we do need that extra level, not only to protect like regular citizens, but to protect the person who's going to be in control of that gun. Or even asking simple questions like, have you ever personally shot an AR-15? Do you know the extent of the gun that you're going to be utilizing? Stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely agree that a strict gun law is needed. All right, so for the next topic we have, it's basically about Amazon. So for right now, Amazon is telling its delivery drivers that they must give biometric consent to continue doing their jobs. Do you think this is going too far? Do you want to hit the brakes or you want to carry on from that?
We can hit the brakes. I thought it was interesting because I think I wonder how something like this even came about. Like initially when I saw this story, I was just like, it's probably just a bunch of like people at home, especially during the pandemic, that had just been complaining about their packages being damaged and bruised and all that. And it's like they want to make sure like when it goes from point A to point B, like it's not being mistreated. People care about the packages very much. But then also I was looking at it and I was just like, is it because in the past like 5 years or so, it's become more publicized how like Amazon workers are kind of like treated like slaves, like it's not good working conditions for them. So maybe that's it, that they want to just monitor, like, especially now that they have a new CEO with Jeff Bezos stepping down. It's like, are they trying to like rebrand themselves as like a more worker friendly corporation? So like those are the two things that popped into my mind for that.
Okay. Me personally, I feel like it might have came about during the whole, cause I'm pretty sure just as much as I know, when people first started getting like the PS5s and the Xbox Series X's, they would get the package, but it would have like a microwave in it, or like something they never asked for. So on Amazon, the app itself, it would say like PS5 delivered, but in the box it would be something completely different from what they ordered.
That'd be
So
tight.
yeah, it's as far as biometric consent, I feel like that's taking it a little too far. Like, yes, I understand that the technology is there to support them needing biometric consent, but I feel like it's our human right to say whether or not we want to turn that feature, whether or not we wish to give out that kind of information. So it's like if you pick up an iPhone, right? The first thing it's gonna ask you is, hey, do you prefer us taking your thumbprint or your face, or do you prefer just using a passcode? You know, it's giving you the option to give up those biometric features, or just keep it old school and just put in a password. So my thing is, you know, Amazon's this company that has so much money. Why not just put like a little, you know, like in the schools where they have like the little card, you scan it, it beeps, and they have a system that logs like, hey, Sue Allen has stepped into the gymnasium. Sue Allen has left the gymnasium. You know, stuff like that. Like, why not just put that on every van? Just have the person, you know, beep themselves into the van, the door unlocks, and then you know who's responsible for that, all those packages. You know, right. I feel like there are more, there's too many options right now for you to just level it down to biometric consent. Because then at that point, your employees are going to feel some type of way. They're going to feel like, you know, you're trying to own them, you're trying to spy on them. It's just too many factors that play into that. So I do feel like they're taking it a little too far with biometric consent, because that's something that's very sensitive. You know, if you get locked up, you get booked, the first thing you do is have to give up your thumbprint. And then guess what? When you try to get a job, you have a record at that point, and they have your biometrics because by law you broke a law, so they have the right to do that. But it's a job, you know. A job can change like that. When the pandemic first happened, look how many people had jobs, and the job just changed like that, you know. So yeah, that's just a factor to think about in regards to that.
Yeah, I feel that 100%. They can feel like their privacy is being violated.
So for the next topic, we have DoorDash. So DoorDash is expected to begin delivering COVID tests that can be administered at home. Do you think that's a power move or not? You want to hit the brakes or carry on from that?
We can hit the brakes. I think it's definitely a power move. It's innovative, and it's gonna bring high revenue, I feel like, because a lot of people, I mean, less people now versus like maybe April 2020 are just like scared to leave the house. But for those that still just want to get tested and not really put themselves in danger, of course, like the older community is more in that category. They can just be like, oh wow, like I could just order this with, you know, my food, or order it separately. And that's also smart. It's kind of like, I don't know what it's called, but like, I guess it's not like really targeted ads, but like it's one of those things where if you order one thing, or if you're making some type of purchase and it's connected to that, you're automatically going to think, and that brings a lot of money, like statistics show. Just like how the targeted ads are on like Facebook and stuff like that. If you say something or type something, it's going to be in your ads there. Just like how Domino's is doing this thing. I saw this thing on TV the other day, which is crazy, with the Domino's app, where you can like stream some movies and stuff with the Domino's app, so you can have like dinner and a movie. Now that's genius, because it's like, you know, you may be like, oh, I want to watch a movie. I don't know what I'm gonna eat tonight. Now I'm gonna get Domino's. Or you'd be like, oh, I want to order Domino's. I'm not doing anything tonight. Let's order a movie too. So it's like, that's smart. So I think in this way is smart as well, because like you're gonna
so you're buying a pizza, and then the app is letting you watch a video on Netflix for free.
Yeah, that's how it was advertised on that commercial I saw, which is crazy.
Pizza?
Yeah,
that's interesting. That's different. Yeah.
So this is definitely a power move, because like, you know, you're not hearing about Uber Eats or Grubhub doing that, but they might eventually they might jump on that wave as well, just because DoorDash is taking this, you know, making this move. They've obviously went up really high in terms of their stock since the pandemic started. So I guess this is how they're spending some of their new money. What are your thoughts on it, though?
I definitely think it's a power move, and I think it's opening another door into what you can do online, as well as, you know, the virtual community and the future. Because at the end of the day, we have to come to reality now, you know, and the pandemic kind of forced us to. But at the same time, like, the online world is literally your virtual workshop. You know, you have certain websites you could use. You could build an online store. You can put everything up there. So why not take it to the next level? And instead of having these guys drive around to deliver food, you know, give it like a little add-on, like, hey, you know, your food's here, but at the same time, we care about you. We know you care about yourself. So here, take this test and see if you need to either A, keep yourself in the house for 14 days, or B, feel good about yourself when you go out there in public and decide to be around other people. To me, it's huge for their business. It's huge for their success, because one is like, A, is relevant to what's going on right now, and B, you're literally being a company that's making people feel like you care, just like Microsoft, just like Apple, because these devices are what we utilize every single day, and without these devices, yes, we would be using something else, but it wouldn't be at the level at which it is right now. So yeah, honestly, I feel like what DoorDash is doing is a step into the future, and like you said, everyone's gonna join that wave. It's gonna be like a new bandwagon, and it's only gonna make products and services a lot better for us as the consumer. So yeah, definitely agree with that. So for our next topic, is will there be more outdoor marriage ceremonies in 2021 than any other year? So David's Bridal thinks so. Do you want to hit the brakes, or do you want to carry on from that?
I'd say we can carry on. I think there's definitely gonna be, though. Just when the weather permits.
Yeah, pandemic especially. All right, so
At least
for the next
years.
yeah, exactly. So for the next topic, we have Trump wants to run for office again in 2024. Will the American people ever give him another chance? Do you want to hit the brakes, or do you want to carry on from that?
Because I care about my blood pressure, I'm gonna say I want to carry on from that. I'm gonna talk about Trump.
So yeah, I'm gonna carry on too, but I also want to add, I just hope people just do the right thing. Obviously it's a free country. We're all open to vote for whoever we wish to vote for, but I just want people to stop and think for a second and ask themselves, like, hey, a lot happened when we had this man in office, and every single day, you could go onto Apple News, you could go on CNN.com. It doesn't matter which website you went onto, you would see some brand new news about Trump, something new that he did, an attack that he did without citizens knowing, how much trouble this country is in right now because this man decided to make a huge move without thinking about the fact that we could get nuked. It's just simple things that any man in power should be thinking about. This man didn't do. So for us to be going through what we're going through right now with Biden, for him to be trying to change things, make things back to normal the way Obama did it, and just trying to take things to the next level. Obviously he has a lot of undoing to do, so things are going to be a little rough before they get really good. But for what he's doing right now, as far as the pandemic, he's trying to implement the vaccines. He's trying to basically he gave us another stimulus, number one. No questions asked around that. It's like the things that he's doing, he's going to need our support 100%. So I just feel like if we're going to go ahead and support this man 100%, we need to give him 110%. And for us to give him that extra 10%, we need to make sure that we're doing the right thing in 2024. So yeah, I'm just gonna close it out on that. So for our what in the world topic, is Krispy Kreme is giving away free donuts to anyone who can confirm that they have received a COVID-19 vaccine. Is this genius or insane? What do you think?
So instead of COVID, we're gonna die from diabetes now, basically. That's what I first thought when I saw it, because it's like, is it just one per person? If so, that's not an issue. But is it something you could use multiple times for getting a COVID vaccine? Like, I want them to specify. But it is funny, and this also is innovative, just like the DoorDash thing, because it's like, but I wonder what made Krispy Kreme want to jump on this wave. Maybe their revenue has decreased since the pandemic started. I don't know if they're on food delivery apps. So maybe their numbers have dropped because not as many people are out and about buying donuts and stuff like that. But it's just interesting why Krispy Kreme in particular jumped on this wave. But yeah, definitely shouldn't be having donuts as part of your regular diet. But definitely made me think like, what in the world? Because it's like, it's different. But what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I feel like it'll be opinion based for anyone who wants to basically speak on it. Me personally, like even like when I was younger, I noticed like certain trends in like our generation, our group, and I used to think about it every time during lunchtime. I'm just like, hey, this pizzeria is making so much money, and they're not getting it from adults. They're mainly getting it from the kids that go to high school. And B, like J&J, the beef patty spot. Like every day during lunch, this woman knows that her bills will be paid because of these kids that go to this college. And Krispy Kreme, every kid wants to have a donut. Me personally, I know there was no way in hell I was gonna walk past Dunkin' Donuts without getting that chocolate donut to carry me through middle school. Yeah, chocolate glazed donut. I might get one or two, and that's gonna carry me through the first half of middle school before lunch.
Love those.
Yeah, and when you're young, you have to kind of think about it. You're not thinking about what is this donut really doing to me? What's the long-term factor of this donut? You just want your donut, and then you might tell your friends about. At the time, talk to your friends about Yu-Gi-Oh, and stuff like that. But
There's like 290 in a donut too. 290 calories in a donut.
yeah,
About.
exactly. So me personally, I feel like what they're doing is semi-genius. If I'm gonna use that term, it's semi-genius because
Mm.
no one really knows. No one really speaks on Krispy Kreme. You're never gonna hear someone saying, "Let's go to Krispy Kreme real quick." If anything, you're gonna hear someone saying, "Let's go to Dunkin' Donut." But for them to basically do that, I kind of feel like it's pretty good marketing for what's relevant for right now. For right now, everyone wants to get a COVID-19 vaccine, and what better way than to promote around it? So you're basically saying like, hey, you get a free donut if you literally take this thing seriously and you go out and you get it. A lot of people, they don't feel like they want to get a vaccine because they want to see what's going to happen to everyone else before they do it. So, if someone's a donut for my donut lovers out there, this is probably something that's going to get you out off the couch and head over to Krispy Kreme to get your free donut because A, you love donuts. B, you were thinking that there was no reason for you to get the COVID-19 vaccine because you probably work from home or you're used to being home now. But I guess this is a way for them to kind of get you out the house, get you back to normal, and get you to go out there and pick up a donut from them. Because hey, they have free donuts. I'm gonna tell my friend that Krispy Kreme has free donuts. My friend is gonna tell his friend, and then boom, that's revenue right there. So I kind of see what they're doing. Yeah, so that's why I would say it's semi-genius as far as marketing. So for the next segment, we're going to be talking about the hear me out topics. So for my topic, I have why taking a break from social media is good for you every now and then. So me personally, I have taken several breaks from social media, and I feel like it definitely has a benefit because number one, these smartphones are very distracting. Me personally, like I find myself if I'm in my phone, I find it's difficult for me to sit down and read a full article on my phone now because I'll go through one article and then I'll remember that there's something I need to do on Amazon, and then I'll find myself on Instagram just browsing nonstop, and then it's like boom. Versus I remember at a time when I was actually taking a break from social media, so like I signed out of Instagram, I deleted the app completely. And then I found myself like subconsciously looking for the app, and then I'll remember like, oh, I deleted it. But then I realized what I would do with the time that I would spend in Instagram, I would be doing something else that I actually want to do for myself. And to me, it was huge to realize that. So in the time that I would like the 30 minutes I would spend on Instagram, that I wouldn't even like have any account for it because it's something that you just do. I would instead pick up a Kindle, begin reading a book, or just finding something else to do at that time. And at that point, it did kind of make me feel good because you're picking up a Kindle, you're reading a book, you're learning something new, so that gives you something different or something new to think about other than your regular norm. But also, it's kind of a way for you to feel good about yourself because you're doing something different, you're doing something beneficial, and you're doing something that was difficult for you to do before because your time would have been spent on Facebook or Instagram or something you had no business doing. To make a long story short, I definitely feel like it's good for us to take a break from social media, just like anything else, because you don't want to lose control. You don't want to feel like Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or whatever is in control of your life 100%, and then you have no accountability for your time. You have no accountability for a couple things, and then you don't have time to really think about the condition of your mental health or like important factors that are actually going to carry you forward and allow you to get things that you want to get done in your life. But do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It can, it's funny. Like they always say, you can fall into like the rabbit hole, and that's a real thing. Just like initially, people thought a rabbit hole was like on YouTube because one video links to another, then another, then another. But it's even worse on social media because like that's literally something an account that you have with pictures and other types of media about you and your life, and you're gonna see how other people are interacting with it, what their opinions are on what you posted, and what they're doing in their lives and whatnot. And it's just like a whole interesting thing that can be a really big distraction, like you said. Just doing things that really make you happy, make your soul happy. I saw something on Twitter that I looked up while you were speaking about it because it made me think of this. So someone posted on Twitter, they're like, when y'all say people only highlight their best moments online, I really want to know, what are you expecting and why do you feel entitled to that? So I responded, I was like, I think people highlight this because people are having, people have diagnosable depression sometimes as a result of comparing their lives to others' best foot forward.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's a real thing because, people always do. I mean, yeah, we all know people post the best sides of themselves. Like most people aren't going to post the L's that they take in life, or things that may make them unhappy about their own life, because it looks bad. It looks like, I don't know, like you're fishing for sympathy or something. But then there's other people who keep it 100, like me. Like I'll post the good and the bad, and I'll be transparent about both, because that's the human experience, you know. But what I meant when I said to that the girl that posted that is because it's like people really do. Some people internalize everything they see, and they'd be like, "Oh, this person over there is living this life. That's not my reality, and I'm sad about it. So now I'm gonna sit over here and be depressed because my life isn't that." So I think that's why people feel like they need to comment on that, because it's
Yeah.
not everybody is as mentally tough as others. So when some people see the good in other people's lives, all they can do is compare and then get down about their own lives. So I think that's something interesting. And then also, I've taken multiple social media breaks as well. I know if I'm going through something that I'm not happy about, like social media is the last thing on my mind, which is funny
Yeah.
because a lot of people know me as like being very active on social media. Like I really like social media, but even I take breaks, not even just when I'm going through something. It's just like sometimes you just need a break, need to unplug. If whenever I'm like away or like on a vacation, not always on a vacation, but like if I'm doing something and the reception isn't great, like it feels good after being away from your phone for a few hours where you just absolutely unplug and
Yeah.
not talking to anyone. And lastly, I want to say, like, it messes up relationships too sometimes, man. Like I've seen some wild things. This one girl I used to be friends with. She was like, her boyfriend, right, had a separate like Instagram account because she was like really insecure about like the photos he would like, right? So
Yeah.
apparently he liked some like porn star's photo, right? But it was just like liking photo, like it's not nothing
Yeah.
crazy. So she was like in her feelings about it and was coming to me about it, and I'm like trying to give her I guess you could say like just advice of like how to handle it, but I'm just like, okay, if you bring this up to him, that's not gonna make him stop liking the photos. Like if
Yeah.
anything, he's just gonna be like, I can't even trust you. Like, I mean, obviously him having a second account is because he knows that she overreacts to him liking the photo in the first place. But then I just kind of had to bring her to reality where I said, like, look, this is a porn star. Like, this is not some girl in your town that he has access to. It's not even like
Yeah.
he's DMing the girl. It's simply just liking the photo. I can understand if it's some girl that goes to that's in the class with him and he's liking all her bikini photos and stuff. It's like, all right, then you have a reason to be suspicious. But this is a celebrity. That's like me being in a relationship with a girl and it's like she like is fangirling over like Idris Elba, and I'm like, all right, we gotta have a talk. Like, why are you liking Idris Elba's photos? Like, she's never gonna have access to Idris Elba.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sweat that. But that's just an example. But it messes up people's relationships for sure because some of us are very insecure. I'm glad I'm not like that because that's just like not a way to live your life. But
Yeah.
it really can get in the way of a lot of things, and your peace being one of them, or the peace within your relationship.
Yeah, it's true, 100%. So for the next Hear Me Out topic, which is your topic, you have Does Body Count Matter? What do you have to say around that?
Yeah, that's that's always an interesting topic to bring up because like a lot of people, I think it's kind of wild to be honest with you. The older we get, the more people still like emphasize that, put any emphasis on it whatsoever. So I personally don't think it matters, but there's always a wide conversation about this in the dating world where it's like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, a guy can have this amount of bodies and a girl can, and then boom, she's a slut, she's a hoe, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Then that double standard, which is a big double standard. I'm not by any means downplaying that. I sent you something like last week that it said like a girl saying I have 6 bodies, and then a guy with 71 bodies is like, oh no, that's not, that can't work. Like, and that's a perfect example of that. But I think personally it does not matter because I also like any girl I've ever been intimate with, like I never ask. Like I was raised, if you don't ask a question you don't want to know the answer to. Like, that's just not something because yeah, just no. Like I just play it safe. I've never asked that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been asked that, but I just have one rule. Like if I'm telling the girl that, it's like I'm not gonna volunteer the information. But if she tells me, like, yeah, I'll tell her. I have no problem telling her because like if we're about to be intimate, But that's not something I'm just putting out there like it's my middle name. Like that's just not. But I personally believe in that because it's like for some people the number may be too high, for other people the number may be too low. And since so many people walk around with these like preconceived notions about what a number means, I'm just like, I just keep it to myself until, I'm asked about it. But when asked about it, I don't ever lie. I'm 100% honest. I'm not going to make it seem like it's something it's not. Just because I think it's silly if you get caught in a lie, like it's embarrassing. So I just keep it 100 at all times, but I don't think it's something that is a big deal. But what are your thoughts on, like, you know, if body count matters?
Well, I personally feel like it depends on personal preference, or like it depends on how serious you are with the individual. Because I mean, hey, if you're doing if you're hooking up, you hooking up. You just want to get it done and over with. You're not really half the time you're not even gonna know that person's name or whatever. But if you're, for example, like if it's someone that you know, like, you know, you two are on a mutual page, and you definitely want to take it to like the next level, then I mean, it's a conversation, so why not? You know, if you're gonna be giving this person all of you, you're gonna be giving this person that part of you at that. I feel like if they ask you that question, be honest. You know, if the person doesn't want to be with you at that point, I think it's better if you get it done, you get it over with in the beginning, rather than like in the mix of things, because, you know, boom, that judgment zone is already out the way, and it's like, all right, cool, like I understand that this is what happened, but this is what we're gonna do moving forward. You know, you're my person, whatever. I'm just letting you know how the conversation will probably go, and this is what we're gonna be doing moving forward, because it's like, all right, cool, like she got 8 bodies, like I'm the person she's telling that she wants to be with for the rest of her life. I'm not the one who's really, you know, bringing everything up or like giving all the input. It's her who's telling me that. So all right, cool, I'm just gonna see how this goes, and then, you know, boom, if that's the person and they feel like you're the last number to that count, then hey, you know, it's a conversation that happened in the beginning, it's over with now, and we're moving forward, versus it's a conversation that you have in your mind that you actually want to have, that you know, because you're curious, but you don't have that conversation, and then you're in the middle of the relationship, and then boom, she was like, yeah, I got 16 bodies, and then you're like, damn, I feel like I need to go to the bathroom and throw up real quick. But it's like, in your mind, it's like, it's like, yo, like, damn, you know? So I feel like if it's something that you're actually, you know, thinking about in the beginning, if it's a conversation that you really want to have based on your preference, based on the kind of relationship that you're trying to have, then go for it. You know, have that conversation. Because me personally, I feel like if you're going to be with someone, you need to keep it 100% all the time. You know, if something's bothering you, speak up. You know, talk about it, especially if it's something like that, because like you said, everyone is crazy about the numbers. You know, it's like, I don't know, it's like a password in Jamaica, because, you know, I watch a lot of Jamaican videos. Me personally, my family is from Jamaica. You know, they call it pum pum facts, just like car facts. You know, let me get the pum pum facts. Let me know, like, let me know what's up. You know, so yeah. It depends on preference. It's personal preference, you know. Some people want to know what happened in your past, what kind of people you mess with, because I might know the person that you mess with, and I might know about the person you mess with, like on another level, based on people that I spoke to. So yeah, if you really want to do some digging, or like if you really want to know, like, you know, the person that you're with, you know, why not? I feel like it's a good conversation. But like I said, if you guys are hooking up, just hook up. Like, don't make it weird, you know. But yeah, if it's definitely something that you're looking to have some longevity in, I feel like it's a conversation that you should have if it comes to your mind. If you feel like you want to have that conversation to be comfortable, you know, go for it.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, the pum pum facts. That's
yeah,
that's real. For some people, it's like they literally can't progress until they know that piece of information. So like, I'm not judging people that, you know, that need to know. I just personally never like wanted to know like that. But yeah, I totally get why one would, because it's like, it just depends on how they view things. And I think also a part of it is, you know, you have to not judge someone for what that number is. Just like you said, like, you know, what they've went through in their life. Someone can look at, doesn't matter the sex. Like, if a person has like triple digit bodies, like they're thinking like, oh, they're a hoe, right? Man or woman.
Yeah.
But if you're like in single digits, you know, you can be like, oh, well, they can't get nobody. They don't want anybody. Not necessarily. Maybe they just prefer quality over quantity, right? Maybe maybe they've had a boyfriend or girlfriend for like 10 years and they're like 24 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So that would be why their numbers are low. Like, everything is related to everything. Like, there's always factors. And I think also that's a piece of information that is like, that should be treated like it's sacred, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm just going to add to that. So like, some people, they like to just live life on the surface. They don't ever go to the deep end for anything. So what I mean by that is, like, if someone says, hey, I got 16 bodies, it's no different from them seeing a car that they like, looking like it's in mint condition, but then the salesperson, when they pull up the Carfax, it says the car's been in like 20 car accidents. You know, the person at that point, the person's like, ooh, like, this isn't the car for me. Let me get one that probably has been in like 1 car accident, because I only have 4 G's and I'm trying to get a car. You know, some people might take that same ideology to someone, you know, speaking on their body count. You know, so you gotta,
Yeah.
so yeah, some people they're that shallow with it, so they will, you know, take it. That's another reason. Like, but yeah, I just wanted to add that.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. It's keep it respectful. You know, I mean, you see a lot of things now with like the Justin LA Boy page on IG. It's like hashtag respectfully, but like honestly, keep it respectful because what somebody shares to you in the bedroom, that should stay in the bedroom. Honestly, that shouldn't be leaving nowhere else. Yeah, just be careful with that. That's all for season 2 of the What You're Thinking podcast. Thank you guys for rocking with us. We have some really good ideas for next season for you, so we can't wait to share that with you when we come back. Until then, stay safe and take care. I'm Eric.
I'm Vince.
We'll see you soon.